welcome to another one of our reviews. I'm the Worm, this is the Proton. Today we're doing a review of a mechanical mod that the Mr. Proton traded for again. So another one of his little wheeling dealers.
Trading Ingles.
Just call him Del Boy Rooney.
Del Boy Rooney.
Del Boy Rooney.
Right guys, what we're doing today is the Bagua clone 14500 as well. So I did a little trade for this with Steve from one of the Facebook groups. Nice chap, and we had a little trade off. Yeah, 14500 guys. Where can you get this? For once, not from Fast Tech. You can't buy this 14500 Bagua from Fast Tech, which is a shame because it's actually the only genuine clone except for the 22 obviously, which they've gone with. So you can get this from China Buy. Is where you can get this one from. I actually had a couple in my basket in China Buy, ordered them, and then the next day this comes on Facebook, so I cancelled one, they cancelled both, and I haven't got any more now. So that's how it is, but one of them on their own delivered, I believe, is £15.10 is when I checked to see for the price of this review. £15.10 delivered for a mech. What can you say? There you go, so be aware guys, 4500.
Obviously guys, that's there or thereabouts because obviously exchange rate changes. So.
Yeah, but it's call it 15 quid, give or take a penny or two. So that's what it is. We're going to go up into a little close up just because you're going to see a lot more down there than you do up here. And then we'll return to us for a nice little flappery dingle. Right guys, this is a little up close of my baby Bagua. Okay, so basically just very quickly, this is the 14500 Bagua clone. Okay, I got this from a little trade-off. I actually bought this, sorry, online. I bought this second hand though, just purely because I wanted one. Going in for a little close look, you've got the symbolisation going on there, you've got it going on there. It hasn't got it up the back though, so that's what it is, and you've got your 3 vent holes there. Fairly simple stuff. Getting into it, it's a mechanical mod, it's not overly complicated to start. You've got your tube there, which is just a tube, 14500 tube, lovely. Switch and top cap. We'll start with the switch, I guess. Switch is a fairly thin, simple switch, sorry. There's not loads that's overly complicated about it. The locking ring is not reverse threaded, and that is what it is. But if I can get my little screw jingle in here, undo her. Okay, you've got your centre post there, that is what it is. You've got your bottom section, and then you've got your locking ring. But you'll notice in amongst all of those parts, if I can just zoom in for you a little bit, there is no springs. Okay, this is a magnetic switch. There they are. It's not a particularly difficult little switch, to be honest with you. It's a very nice, similar to a Nemesis for example with magnets, that's kind of how it is. But put it back together, literally locking ring on. Okay, magnet in here, doesn't matter which way, just make sure you find the repelling way. So that for example is the repellent, so they go on there like that. Both magnets go on there, just hold them on, stick your switch in, and then grab your connection and screw it down. I've tried to remove this dowel in a bit, which is probably why you can see a bit of damage on it, and I haven't done well with that. So I don't know if it's bonded or whatever it is, but whatever it is that. Obviously brass contact, a narrow point of contact. Okay, that is what it is though. So that's the switch. I can't say I've had major issues with it. I mean, I have had issues slightly where if you get it on an edge, it tends to be a bit, I don't know, you can probably hear that, and sometimes you don't feel like you're getting full contact, so a push in the middle really is required. But to be honest with you, it's the size of your fingertips, so you pretty much always hit it in the middle. Now on to the top cap. Air channels, sorry, are cut into the side. You've got one either side, 1, 2 there. If you're flush mounting something that's air fed from the bottom, and then your centre post here. Some people may think, where's the adjustment? Well, it's a tricky little sausage, this one. The adjustment is here, top side. Okay, so what you do is, for example, and this is generally what I've found, I tend to grab my screwdriver, and no doubt this will be too tight for me to do now. Of course it will, because that's the wrong screwdriver. Grab your screwdriver and undo the screw a little bit to guarantee your contact. So for example, I know you can't see this guys, but that's what I can do at the minute. There we go. So the screw here is kind of now free turning. I then install this into the head. Okay, I'd grab my battery, so I'd plonk the switch on, little 14500 battery. I'd then do her up. Okay, so I've got a little bit more adjustment to be made there. Boom. And there we go, that's now, I'm satisfied with that. Okay, no battery rattle or whatever else. If I now try and take it out and screw it in, no, but I can guarantee you that that would be far too high. Yep, look at that, massive gap. So what you do is, down there, if it shows it, very bright, down there you've got your screw that we was just looking at, and you just give it a couple of sort of turn and a half to start with and see how much it takes it in by. So obviously not quite there just yet. I'd then another, say, half a turn and see what happens then. And you just keep adjusting. I would say though, do minor tweaks and keep screwing the atty on until you get flush. Once it's on, the battery's going to last a while, but I've noticed if you screw it up too much and then you try and undo it, you then end up winding the entire screw into the unit, which giving yourself the battery rattle back, which is just such a pain. And we're pretty much there, quarter of a turn, so it looks like more of a pain than it actually is. I haven't actually found that I've had any real issues doing this. It takes, I don't know, not long, a couple of minutes at most, and then from there you just unscrew your bottom cap, replace battery, so you don't actually have to do it again. All the batteries I've got tend to be the same size, so that's kind of a bonus, I guess, for me. I have found nipple tops are very tight. There you go. I have found nipple tops are very tight in this, but as you can hear, get a nice little vape off that. That is what it is, guys. Brass contacts, it's just, it does what it does. I can't really say much more than that. It's very, very small. If I liken it to something like, I don't know, a 650 mAh Ego battery, for example. There they are side by side. The Ego battery actually slightly pegs it in length. In width, obviously, you're looking at, say, 14mm versus 17mm, but I'll take that all day long. But that is what it is, guys. That was a very quick up close and half-assed. We'll come back up to us now and have a little vape.
Guys, that was the up close of the Bagua 14500 mod from China Buy. I hope you saw everything down there. Mr. Brown on the close up on that one. I was not here at the time, so I don't know what particulars he went into, but I'm quite sure he'll go over what wasn't said now.
No, as you seen the close up, guys, showed you it. Showed you with the adjustment, unusual kind of adjustment, and to be honest with you, I hadn't really looked into the bar, but I just sort of thought, yeah, I'll have one of them because I wanted a smaller mech to try, 14500, why not? So I kind of piddled around with it, and I was like, this little cap there now, and I'm looking at the screw in the 510, and boom, there's your adjustment. It's lovely stuff. It is a little bit finicky, but it can be done from the top, just like I said, guys. Make sure your 510 is extended bigger than you need it to, and then screw it in a bit, test it, screw it in until you get it sitting flush, because if you over screw it and then want to undo it, chances are you're going to undo the main screw in the mech itself, and then you've got to do it all adjusting again, which is a bit of pain in the bum. But other than that, awesome stuff. You see in the close up I put the K 2.1 on it, that's still on it now, lovely stuff. I haven't really any complaints with it at all. With this mech, again, you're going to need to get 14500s from it. I found a lovely seller on eBay. I think I paid $10.99 for two sets, for two batteries, sorry, and I've got two sets, two different types. I bought some Sanyos and some E-Fest 800 mAhs, just because I wanted to see how they performed against each other, and I've got an E-Fest nipple top around as well somewhere, so I've got 5 batteries for it. So all in, if you needed 2 batteries and you've got to charge them that, you're talking 20 quid, it's just, well, 25 quid, sorry, so lovely price. I'd much rather have this than an Ego, put it that way. In terms of using it, it has had some serious abuse, this little mech, because for the first week and a half to 2 weeks when I had it, I have not been able to put it down. Just haven't. I love the size of it, the weight of it. It's, although small, fairly weighty, and it feels incredibly good to use. So that's what it is. I found that on a 1.4 ohm load, this thing hits awesome, especially when I had sort of preconceptions it was going to be a bit limp-wristed. No, it just hasn't been, and I found that on a 1.4 ohm core I could use this all day at work, get in and use it for a good few more hours before I felt even the need to change it. So battery life in this has been something that really surprises me, seeing as the batteries are so small. I mean, they're AA sized, obviously don't use AA's, guys, but they're AA sized. and that has just been the biggest surprise to me is how long these last, because I'll rip through a 650 in about the same amount of time. Obviously the coil slightly lower, but I haven't felt the need to have the low coil on this setup. That's just something that I've noticed, really, to be honest with you. When I've not used this too much, I've used this a hell of a lot more. But I did show the magnetic switch in the close-up magnetic switch as well, and it's a nice magnetic switch. It's just, they've nailed it. They really have nailed it. All the, I mean, true clone guys, obviously engravings are where they should be, if it was real, that kind of stuff. Love to see a brass one. It's awesome. I love it. I really do love it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a little bit of a use with it. I mean, I mainly used it the first kind of few days he had it. He had a fresh build in there with some Jester's juice, and the coil it was on and the way the Jester's juice was steeped, it was just performing like an animal, and it was just like, I know why I was using it for a week, because I used it a couple of times. I dripped it like 3 or 4 times in concession, got using it for about half hour, and I didn't want to give it back, to be honest. It's a lovely mechanical alternative to an Ego in that sort of size. It is definitely a stealth vape if you've got a nice little thin drip on there, either the K-Fun 2.1 or if you've got like a Zeus or something. It's going to blend perfectly and it's going to hit hard.
It does. 17mm, so unlike some of these kind of configurations, that is a size 17, a lot of 16 like the Mini Shi and stuff like that. So finding out is that match it flush can be a bit of a challenge, but it is possible to do. There are some out there, we'll mention what they are in a minute. I've pretty much run it predominantly with this K-Fun 2.1 in dripper mode on top, just because I think it looks pretty good. I wouldn't have that drip tip on it typically to go out and about. It'd be a shorty drip tip, so it is very small and I could hide it in my entire hand. Not that I was necessarily trying to vape places I weren't allowed, it's just after dealing with things like the VTR and mechs in 650 with tyre funds and K-Funs on top that are huge and big, dealing with something that's this, and this is, although the mech's heavy for its size, compared to them mods fully loaded, it's still nice and lightweight. It's nice to use, and I've really expected there to be a big effort on my part to not pick up an 1800 mod with a K-Fun on top of it, because that's where I'd usually run Jesters in a K-Fun, same kind of resistance core I was using in this, and it was performing around the same kind of mark, but I haven't felt the need. I was more than satisfied, but I was really, really pleasantly surprised, in fact. And I did say in the live, this has been the biggest surprise to me of this year that I've purchased or got hold of, because it's just, I was expecting a lot less than what I got. This is comparable on the right build to most of my 1800 mods in terms of how well satisfied I am with it. Part of that will be down to the fact it's a cable on top, I know it's in dripper mode and all that, but that build quality does come through. But I've run this with a Zeus on top or an A7 and I've been just as satisfied, to be honest with you, and that is what it is. I've really, really enjoyed using it. Should we go into a little 5 hitter and there'll probably be a little chat on the other side?
Looks, let's be fair, it's a beautiful little thing. I mean, it's got all the looks of the Barguil wrapped up in a small little package that you can get. It's probably slightly wider than your standard Ego. But
Ego's a 14mm, whereas this would be 17mm.
Yeah, but it's more like the 1300.
Yeah, it's about the same as 1300 spinners, to be honest.
Yeah, so like your higher mark Egos, it might be the same sort of width, but it's a lot smaller because obviously you ain't got none of that other crap in there, chipsets and that for the 5 click on and off. So looks is just perfect. It's just, if you want a small mechanical mod, there's nowhere else to really go at the moment, and why? I can see why not many people have branched out there, because they've already nailed it over here. So 10.
In terms of looks for me as well, it's beautifully small. It's actually smaller in terms of height than a 650 mark Ego. Only by about 4 or 5mm, but smaller nonetheless. Looks for me, I'd love to see a brass one just so I can mix and match, and that'd be even heavier still, which would feel even better in my opinion. Looks for me is no shadow of a doubt a 10. I would like the venting to be somewhere else than in the body, but that's where it is, so they've done that. I mean, through the switch like a Chi would, perfect. There'd be literally nothing I could change about this mod. So it looks for me as a 10. Yeah,
to be honest, I actually quite like the vent holes, and I think it kind of adds to the look.
To it, yeah.
Yeah, I think
it does. I mean, with
I think you've got the right colour battery in there.
Yeah. I mean, I've got the Sanyos I bought like pink, and you see pink through that. It's not quite. I mean, the EFS you're looking at a kind of goldy colour. That's quite nice, or the black when.
Especially if you're the brass one, that'd be perfect. So, but yeah, usability. It's a mechanical mod. Charge your battery, keep your contacts clean. Other than that, you've really got nothing else in there. It's just literally charge your battery for usability. The cleaning contacts comes under maintenance. So for usability, it's literally a case of adjusting your adjustable centre pin, which is on all good mechanical mods anyway, and keeping the battery charged in there. So it's a 10. It just is. There can't be any other value for it, I don't think.
Usability for me, as much as mechanical, it all is you chuck a battery in it and you maintain it. The adjustment in there is, to be honest with you, I'm trying to think of a way it could be simpler. You could have it cheese style, where you've got 2 levels of adjustment, but one, I don't think personally that would be simpler, and 2, it would add to the length of the device in general. So I'm glad they went with it this way, and it's not too much of a pain once you realise that it's there. So usability for me, 10.
Maintenance. Clean your contacts. Make sure your 510 is always clean from grit and dirt from whatever build up. Keep your battery charged. I know it comes under usability as well, but it's also maintaining your batteries as well. They're in there, so it's a 10. It's just beautifully simple. And with that magnetic switch, you've got nothing. You've got no spring to even maintain in there. It's a magnetic switch. It's going to keep going into the magnet dies, and let's be honest, it's going to be long after you die.
Indeed. Maintenance for me, it's the same as every and any other mechanical mod out there. Clean the contacts and put a battery in it. So 10. I'm not going to bother delving into it. It is pure and simply, there's nothing easier about it.
Build quality and price. It's 15 quid, or a trade away. But for 15
no, I
quid
paid for it. It was a trade for cash.
Oh, it's a trade for cash. Okay. Right. So 15 quid, delivered from Chinaland or from wherever you're buying it from.
From Steve.
It's a bargain. It just is. It's good value for money. It just all round is. I mean, yes, you have to go out your way to buy some smaller batteries, but let's be honest, these batteries last long in this kind of setup. It just does. As long as you're not doing a stupidly low ohm core on there, it's going to last you while you're out and about.
Safely, you can't, can you?
No, not really.
Not super low anyway.
I mean, I have no doubt they'll eventually come out with some 10 amps of it, but it's a little while off yet, unless you want to seriously pay for a battery.
I think these are 6. So I know it's like points. This is a 0.8 in there now.
Oh, there you go. It's a 0.8. It's fine. It runs him all day while he's out and about, and dies when he gets in. More than you can hope for. It's about the same length as an Ego, to be honest, if you're using it normally. So yeah, price it's amazing. And build quality of this thing. The threads on it are good. The adjustable head 510 is good. The magnetic switch is awesome in it for the size of it. What more can you ask for 15 quid? It's just a 10.
Build quality and price. Brand new, 15 quid from China buy. Yeah, 10. It feels heavy. But compact and light at the same time. You can tell it's quality material, more quality materials. It's by far and away smashes the living cack out of an Ego. The magnetic switch is awesome. The locking ring's fine, never gripped on for me. The adjustment in the head works fine. Brass contacts, Darwin insulator on the bottom. It's just there's nothing more they could do to this realistically. I'm trying to think now of things that I would change to this if I could.
Is the locking ring reverse threaded?
No, it's not. Reverse threaded locking ring. Okay, the only 2 things I'd change about this would be the switch. I'd make the throw slightly shorter. Not that it's long and it's there for a reason, but I've noticed if you push right on the edge, sometimes you don't get full. It's all contacts, not full contact. I'm not being funny though. It's 17mm. Your fingertip covers it. You're always going to make full contact. It's only when I've been lazy and trying to catch it with my baby finger and stuff. So that would be something that I could change if it was possible, which I doubt it is because they've nailed it. And a reverse threaded locker ring is my preference, but this one isn't a problem because it doesn't undo easily because the switch doesn't grip. It just goes on and off every time, no problem whatsoever. So if I had to be sceptical, that would be it. But no, it is well beyond a 10, more than I was expecting.
Overall, if you want one, buy one. It's a 10 all round. It hits every mark on a mechanical that you want it to. Price is good, build quality is good, it's easy to maintain, it's lovely. The only thing you might have is trying to get the correct size atomizers for it, especially like small tanks. I mean, you can put the K-Fun on there, but it still doesn't fit perfectly. I mean, it goes on there flush, but it's not the 17mm, the same as like you would have on a NEM and a K-Fun. They're both 22mm. You're just going to struggle for like size, but I'm quite sure there are 17mm out there that you can buy. You know of a couple that I know because he's researched it. I haven't because I haven't got one at the moment, and I can't think of any off the top of my head, to be honest. And yeah, anyone looking for a mechanical mod that is Ego sized, 15 quid, couple of batteries, so you're looking at 25 quid. If you're first mechanical, you need a charger, it's a good investment. You're going to be, if you're moving on to a mechanical mod, you're going to be buying loads of them. Trust me. It's not that you buy a case of one and you're done. It's a case of you buy one and then you buy 9 million others. You know, it just keeps going and going with this sort of stuff. If you're going this way, this is what you're going to be getting onto. So, yeah.
There you go. Overall for me, we've both kind of sat there and looked at the genuine barbed wire in kind of admiration, especially when you think, oh, I know it's 4,500, but it's only about, you can get it for like 65 quid now, so it's not bad priced really in comparison to the high-end 1,800 mods that are out there. And we both sat there for a long time looking at it. And then I see the client come up on China Buy. I thought, oh, I'll have a little pop. Then on Facebook, and I was like, I could have that tomorrow. Cancel China Buy. And I'm really glad that I did. This, I would buy a real one, no problems, no questions asked after having this one. Overall mark is a 10. It can't be other than 10. It's more than a 10. Heavily recommended. If you've got your charger, 25 quid with 2 batteries. I found one battery lasting pretty much all day. I mean, 2 would be more than enough. In terms of tanks you can get on top of it, because it's 17mm, a Typhon GS is technically 17mm, but it's 17mm at the tank and 15 at the base, so it doesn't fit quite flush. Same as the K-Fun 2.1, it's 14 at the base and 15 at the tank. You can get a Witcher Cyclone V2 in 17mm, there's a few drippers on Fast Tech that are 17mm clones admittedly. There's a few genuines that are 17mm as well if you was into them. It's not particularly easy to mix and match it. Personally, the Witchers is about the same size as this mod. I like this as a dripper form because it's small. I've got a dripper on the way that is 17mm, adjustable airflow, dual and single core setup. That combo with this I think will probably be spot on. If not, the 2.1 when I go back on it is as simple as that. I love the thing. I really like. If the VV was my favourite kind of VTR was my favourite VW mod of this year, this would definitely be the biggest surprise and one of my favourites, if not my favourite mod of this year, just because of, I think, more the surprise factor of it. I know I'm rambling, but I don't care.
No, I was thinking like that thing over there.
A VTR, yeah.
No, the other thing behind it.
Yeah, but they don't. Yeah, but they don't. They're not the same. I would take this. I would. I really like it. For you, especially since I've always been. I don't care about carrying big mods around, and I carry loads around with me. To be able to just
no. Loads is an understatement. He carries everything he owns with him.
If I'm coming to the office and stuff, and I know I'm going to have a bit of a boring day, then definitely get a re-wiki dingle on. But yeah, I do. I really love it. I do. I would place it above 9 out of 10 of the other mods that I can think of at the minute. And when you consider the size of it, awesome stuff. Heavily recommend this, guys, especially if you're after something that's small, stealth fate. You can keep your gripper. I'll take this setup, thanks. I think we're pretty much done this, but guys, check out China Buy. They're kind of like a Fast Tech that do loads and not as much and more at the same time. Just kind of have a look.
Or if you're not prepared to wait, have a little look on the forums. I'm quite sure there's one out there for the reasonable price it is anyway, so keep your eye around if you are wanting it next day. If not, go to China Buy and have a little look. And we're not sure on delivery from there. We can't give it exact.
It's about 4 or 5 weeks, same as Fast Tech Dingle. Sometimes it's quicker, sometimes it's longer, but it's still going to be long if you're waiting for it from China. So the best thing you can do if you're going to get it from these, order it and forget about it, and then it will show up when it's ready. But yeah, no, it's definitely good stuff. We'll link China Buy down there just because we know you can get them from there, and I think that makes sense, I guess. But it will be from Steve. No, it'll be from China Buy, but it comes from Steve. Thank you for that. I think we're pretty much done.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend it. Go and check it out. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I've been Mr. Proton. This has been The Worm.
See you soon.